We're going to determine if this set of ordered pairs is exactly a function, and then we're going to give the domain and the range. To determine if it's a function, we look for x's that have been repeated. If you'll notice, there are two ordered pairs that have a 3 for the x coordinate. So that is a repeated x, so this is not a function. Now, the domain is all the possible x values in a relation, or it could be a function. And so the domain is 1, 2, 3, because those are the x values in this function, or in this relation, because we determined it wasn't a function. And then the range is the set of all y values in the function, and the y values, we have 2, we have 5, 7, and 8. So that is not a function, but its domain is the set 1, 2, 3, and its range is 2, 5, 7, and 8. Okay, so now these are graphs of functions, and we want to determine if they are in fact a function based on the graph. There's a thing called the vertical line test, which basically means you draw a vertical line anywhere in the function, and if it crosses more than once, it is not a function. And so if I draw a vertical line straight through there, it only crosses one time. And so this is a function. Only crosses once. What that represents is the 1x has 1y. So this vertical line represents some random x value, and when I cross, that's the corresponding y value. So we have 1x and 1y. Therefore, it is a function. Now, the second one, part B, if we do a vertical line through it, we have two crosses, two intersection points. So this one is not a function, because this vertical line represents an x, and then there are two y values associated. So you have, we could just randomly pick a number for here, and we could say, well, that's -3, -1, and this would be -3, 2. And so you see that there is a repeating x, just like in the list we saw earlier, there was a repeating x. There are a bunch of repeating x's because this vertical line crosses a lot of different places. So this one's not a function. Okay, so here we are going to evaluate a function. The root word of evaluate is value, and so we're actually going to get a numerical answer here. We're going to plug in -2. This notation means to plug in -2. And so that is exactly what we're going to do in our function. So f of -2 would be -2 squared. So here I am going to plug in -2, but the -2, make that look negative, there we go, and the -2 there. Okay, and so now when I do this, I have to be careful, do my order of operations, and make sure I don't mess up anything. I've got to do my exponent first, so that's going to give me 4, but then that's multiplied by a negative, so that's a -4. And this is going to be -10 plus 2. And so that's going to be -14 plus 2, which is -12. So f of -2 is going to be -12. That corresponds to the point -2, -12 on the graph.